friends, long time no here. As you can see, I am in a new place. I moved out in the time that I was absent from this channel. It is Friday after work and I have decided to do a 48-hour reading vlog in which I will attempt to read as many books as possible. You know how I love 24-hour reading vlogs, but I've done quite a few of them and also I do want to sleep. So I've decided to start a reading vlog on Friday after work. It is like after 7 p.m. right now and I think I'm gonna start the clock at 8 p.m. and finish the vlog on 8 p.m. on Sunday. I have not had a great reading year. I have been actually quite busy, especially at work this year. So I've only read, I think, 17 books this year, which is really, like, for me personally, that's a very low number. Ideally, by the end of this vlog, I would like to have read 25 books. As in, not read 25 books in this reading vlog, but like have 25 books read on Goodreads, you know? So, in theory, I should read 8 books in this reading vlog. Is this a realistic goal? No, but we'll see what happens. It sounds crazy, but at the same time, whenever I do 24-hour reading vlogs, I tend to read like 4 or 5 books. So like in 48 hours, technically, I should be able to read more than that. But we'll see what happens. My plan was actually to go to this library in Warsaw that has a lot of English books. But unfortunately, yesterday I realized that it's still operating in like summer opening hours, so it's only open a couple of hours each day and it's completely closed on weekends. Today it closed at like 4 p.m. and I worked until 6. So I had to look at my bookshelves. I have 2 bookshelves now. I'm going to show you them later. I have one here and one here. I looked for them and pulled a couple of books that I'm interested in. This is just a tentative TBR. We'll see how I feel along the way, but a couple of options. I definitely want to read The Invention of Morale. It's a very short... Where's this from? Buenos Aires. It's a very short translated classic. I think it's less than 100 pages. So it would be nice to start with that, to feel like I accomplished something today. Okay, first let me show you the classics, I guess. Then we have The Mustache, another translated classic, about a man who shaves his mustache and no one in his family notices, and apparently he goes into a spiral. Slow Days, Fast Company by Eve Babbitt. Phantom of the Opera, that's an option, because this weekend is supposed to be quite cold and gloomy, even though it's like end of August. So this is a maybe. Another maybe is Victorian Psycho by Virginia Fito. I've read another book by Virginia Fito that I really liked. What was it called? Mrs. March, I think. But this is another like very kind of dark book that would be great to read in the fall. But since it's going to be a gloomy weekend, this could be an option. But I feel like it's going to be either this or this, because they both feel like autumnal books to me. A few more literary fiction. We have Annibot, which I think is a science fiction novel about a woman who is a robot and her boyfriend who bought her. I don't know much else. And also The Safekeep, which is some kind of like sapphic literary fiction set in the Netherlands in the 1960s. I've heard a lot of good things about this one. I also have a couple of things on my e-reader. There was also this one Sayaka Murata book that I was interested in. I don't remember the title, but it's supposedly very weird. And yeah, I have a couple of audiobooks on Everend. We'll see how it goes. So, I think I'm going to order some food, clean up the apartment a bit, and then we'll start at 8 p.m. on the dot. Guys, my Wi-Fi isn't working. It hasn't worked in the past like hour and a half, and I thought it would like fix itself quickly, but apparently not. I feel like the universe is telling me to just like sit my ass down and read. So I guess it's good, because now I'm not gonna be that distracted by my phone, maybe. But yeah, I think we're gonna start with The Invention of Morale, which I think is a very weird book about a woman who is stranded on an island. I don't know much else. And I think I'm gonna start reading it and read as much as possible before my food gets here. I ordered some Korean food, so I'm excited. The lighting is kind of atrocious. Sorry, I'm still figuring out my angles in this flat, so bear with me. Okay, it's 8 p.m, if you can see that. Yep, so let's start with the first book. Okay, hello. It is an embarrassing amount of time later. It is like midnight. And I finally finished my first book. Did it take me 4 hours and multiple TikTok breaks because my attention span is fried? Yes, it did. But I did finish it. I actually really enjoyed it. I don't want to tell you too much about the plot of this book, but first of all, I was wrong. The main character is not a woman. I think I was influenced by the cover of this book, and I assumed the main character would be a woman, but no, it is a man who goes to this supposedly inhabited island because he's a fugitive and he wants to hide. But on the island, he notices that there are other people on the hill. He's interested in one woman in particular who goes on those rocks and reads books and looks at the sea. But he realizes that not only her, but like everyone else kind of ignores him or seems to not notice him. And that's all that I want to say. I was worried in the beginning that this book, I mean, not that it wasn't weird, but that it would go in this like fever dream direction, that it would be like nonsensical, either nonsensical or it would lean towards like magical realism, which, if you know me, I'm personally not a fan of magical realism, but I actually enjoyed the direction that this book went in. I'm giving it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I was surprised that this was published in the year 1940, but at the same time, I was not completely shocked by the twist reading it in today's day and age. But I'm sure for the, 1940s, this was revolutionary, and I enjoyed it and I would recommend it. Very short novella, not a new favorite, but it will stay on my bookshelves. Normally, anything like from 3.5 and lower, I tend to unhaul. Not this one. I enjoyed it. So, it is midnight, so technically I could just go to sleep, but I think I'm going to start one more book. I think I'm leaning the most towards the safe keep. I'm just going to read like a chapter or two just to get into it, and then I'll finish it tomorrow. So yeah. I live near a hospital. Okay, this is my third attempt at filming this clip. First, I had the door to the bathroom open and I put the washing machine on, so it was loud. The second attempt, I filmed the whole clip and then realized that there was something wrong with the audio, like throughout the whole clip. There was this very loud static noise in the background. I really hope it's not an issue now. But if it is, I'm not gonna record it again. I'm so sorry, you'll have to deal with it. It is, now at this point, it's like noon. Yeah, 11:45 actually. I did not wake up very early, but I did not necessarily plan on doing that. I wanted to sleep in a little bit to, feel refreshed after a work week. So I woke up around 10, read a little bit more of the safe keep, and I'm like almost 50 pages into it, so I've decided to give you my initial thoughts. First of all, I don't think this is a translated work. I can't find the name of the translator anywhere, so I think this was originally written in English. And yes, this I guess could be considered a historical fiction novel because this is set in the 60s in the Netherlands. Our main character Isabel lives in this country home that was left by her late mother. She lives there with a maid, but she lives a very solitary life, and she's a very particular person. She can be quite cold and harsh to other people. She's very much set in her ways. Everything in the house has to be exactly how she wants it, and she even counts the cutlery or plates just in case the maid is stealing something from her. So she's very obsessive and maybe even paranoid, and things change when one day her brother, she has two brothers, one younger brother, one older brother. Her older brother, Louis, brings his new girlfriend, Eva, to the house and tells her that she has to stay there for a month or so while he's on a work trip. So Eva stays with Isabel and things change. From how far I've gotten, things actually start disappearing in the house and Isabel thinks that Eva is taking her stuff. And overall there is this air of mystery and like eeriness in the book. And I don't think it's just the stealing, potentially, but there's also this air of mystery around just the family history, because this is set like 15 years after the Second World War. And I think there are some secrets about the house and the family. I don't want to say anything else, but there have been hints in the book already. And I am picking up what the author is putting out. Also, like overall, at the center of this novel, there is going to be a lesbian love story, which I'm very excited about, but I'm also excited about some secrets coming out. So overall, I'm really enjoying it so far. The plans for today are, I might go to a coffee shop just for a change of scenery. I think I also need to go to a nearby drugstore to buy some contact lenses, because I don't like wearing my glasses every single day because, I don't know, it gives me a headache. So after I'm a bit bored or tired with reading, I might take a walk to the drugstore. And yeah, I don't think this is going to be a very eventful day. It's quite gloomy, so I think I would prefer to stay at home anyway.
A few moments later.
Guys, my camera fell and my mic broke. No. I mean, I have this. Like, this is just like the stand that the mic was on. So I guess I can talk like this. This looks silly, but also I feel kind of powerful. Like, I understand men with podcasts now. Anyway, the reason why I wanted to make this update is I forgot to tell you that actually from chapter 2 I started listening to this book on audiobook because it's on Everend. And I like the audiobook. The first book I read physically, and I think the book after this one I will also read physically, so it would be nice to have one audiobook in between. So just FYI, I'm listening to it on audiobook. I'm upset. Like, do you think I can buy just this piece online? I'll look it up. Okay guys, it is almost 7 p.m. and only now I have finished my second book of the vlog. It has taken me some time, but it's okay. I have a plan, I have ideas how to pick up the pace, and I will talk about that later. First, the review. This is difficult. I think it's a great debut. I think this novel is well written, has very well fleshed out characters, but overall the prevailing feelings for me right now are disappointment. But I think it's mostly because I had high expectations and maybe in the beginning I was thinking this could be like a 5-star or maybe a 4.5 star. Okay, so I just want to preface this by saying that this is not a bad book. I will recommend this book. But the thing that I was suspecting in the beginning, after reading the first 3 chapters, was correct. There is like a twist in the third act of the book, which I don't think necessarily, maybe some details come as a surprise, but overall I don't think it's shocking. The hints were heavily sprinkled throughout the book. And there was this one, I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to spoil you, but there's this one object that the second it was mentioned in the book, I was like, okay, this is like the Chekhov's gun. Like, I know this will be an important plot point in the book that will like reveal a lot of stuff. And I was just waiting for it to happen. So, I don't know, the plot devices were very obvious to me. But it's not a bad book. I'm a bit torn when it comes to the rating. I think I will have to sleep on it. For now, I feel like because I'm so disappointed because I had such high expectations, it sounds like I disliked this book more than I actually did. And the ratings that I'm kind of torn between are either 3.5 star or 4 star. So like I said, it's not bad. Right now I'm leaning more towards the 3.5 star, but let me sleep on that. So this was kind of a surprise. What should we do now? I'm thinking for a change of pace, I should read either a play or like 1 volume of a manga. Just something I could get through quickly, so I feel like I'm not that behind when it comes to reading for this reading vlog. What should we do? Okay, I'm gonna think on that and then present you with a couple of options. Okay, so when it comes to plays, we have a couple of options here, for sure. This is my plays bookshelf. I feel like I could read A Streetcar Named Desire by Tennessee Williams. I have actually seen this play on stage like 8 or 9 times when I used to work at the theater. But I've never read the source material. And I feel like this is one of the very few plays that I watched, but I feel like I never fully grasped it. Which is the opposite of what my overall experience working at the theater was. Overall, I feel like working there kind of demystified theater, and when I was younger I felt like it was very like highbrow and like hard to understand. But then I started working there and watched so many plays and understood that like plays are for normal people, like you don't need like a very high level of intelligence to be able to understand them. But this one, I feel like while I did understand the overall plot, some motivations of the characters I didn't fully grasp, so it would be nice to finally read that. What else? Ooh, Tom Stoppard. I have 2 plays by Tom Stoppard, Travesties and The Invention of Love. Maybe Machinal? Yeah, I think that's a good selection for now. Okay, and when it comes to the manga, I think we should stay on the theme of lesbians, because why not? I'm looking at my monitor. I think the 2 mangas that I'm interested in would be The Guy She Was Interested In Wasn't a Guy at All. This has very high ratings. And the other one is Goodbye My Rose Garden. I've heard more things about the first one, and the art style looks really good. I'm a bit apprehensive because it is like a high school romance, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna give it a shot. Yeah, I think that's the one that I will read now, and then we'll go from there. I'm not sure what I'm gonna read next. I'm kind of drawn towards Victorian Psycho, but we'll see. Y'all, that was so cute. I read the first volume. I kind of wanted to continue, but I think I might read the second volume tomorrow when I'm feeling kind of like overwhelmed with the books. Yeah, I really like the art style. I really like the neon green background. I like the humor, I like the characters. Basically, the story is about this high school girl who like has a crush on this guy who works at this record shop, but actually it's just her classmate who is a girl, but she's kind of undercover in school. Like, she takes out all of her earrings and, like, you know, puts a skirt on, a uniform, puts on glasses. Obviously, the glasses are hiding everything. We know that. And at the start, she's wearing a mask too. So in the first volume, she does find out that it's her classmate, and it's just, it's so cute. They talk about music. They're really into, like, rock bands, like Radiohead, Nirvana, Red Hot Chili Peppers. And yeah, I think I'm gonna read the second volume tomorrow. This was very enjoyable. I think I would give it 5 stars, like, truly no criticism on my part. So when it comes to what I'm gonna read next, because what time is it? It's 8:30. I think I'm gonna start Victorian Psycho. But first I need to eat dinner. Okay, I finished part 1 because the story is divided into 2 parts. Do you like my bookmark? Look at her. So I guess I should tell you my thoughts. I am not loving, guys. I'm kind of hating it. Yeah. That's it. I am going to finish it because 1, I bought the hardback. This, like, never happens. And also, like, it's pretty easy to read and it's very short, so might as well finish it and get my money's worth. But I can't believe how much I'm hating it. Okay, so the premise of Victorian Psycho is we have this governess who comes to this family to teach the children of this wealthy couple, but from the very first chapter we know that she's going to kill them all. Or so she says. I don't know. That's her plan. That's her plan from the get-go. I think I'm struggling with this book tonally. I guess due to my expectations of what Virginia Fito normally writes. I read Mrs. March, which I loved, and it has such an interesting psychological portrayal of the main character. And here we have a complete opposite of that. The main character is a psycho. Like, she's a psychopath, and she doesn't really feel any emotions. She doesn't feel, you know, remorse, love, anything. And the plot at this point feels almost nonsensical. Like, I'm just reading it, and I'm just like, what is the point? Like, is the point just the gore? The gruesomeness? Because, like, it almost feels like her actions make no sense. Like, I don't think we're going to get a compelling character development in this novel. It's just gruesomeness for gruesomeness' sake, and I just don't get it. There is, like, a little bit of humor in it, so I'm just like, is it supposed to be satirical? Is it like a twist on American Psycho? I haven't read it, and I haven't watched the movie, so maybe it's just going over my head. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna finish it probably tonight, and I think I'm gonna give you my thoughts in the morning, so I have time to kind of sleep on it and figure out my rating. This is so disappointing. Okay, I'm back because I forgot to tell you about the writing style, which is also something that's pissing me off. As someone who has read a lot of Victorian classics, this writing style is getting on my nerves because it feels so forced, like it's definitely overwritten because the author feels like that would be the style of that time, which is not necessarily true. I did get, like, the first chapter drove me nuts. After that, I kind of got used to the writing style a little bit more, but I still don't think it's well written if it's, like, imitating the style of, like, a Victorian novel. Oh, okay. It's midnight, by the way, so I'm gonna take a shower, maybe probably read some more, maybe finish this tonight, maybe not, but yeah, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, good morning. First of all, I overslept. I was supposed to get up at 8 a.m, but as always, I just naturally woke up at... I snoozed a lot of alarms and then woke up at almost 10. So it's 10:30 now. Technically, I'm supposed to finish this reading vlog at 8 p.m. because it was supposed to be 48 hours, but might as well just call it a weekend reading vlog and read until the end of Sunday. Anyway, when it comes to the book I finished last night, 1 star. I hated every second of this. Like, listen, I guess it's my fault for wanting things to make sense in a book. Like, call me crazy. Like, the further I got, the more I had to suspend my disbelief, and by the end, things got so ridiculous that I didn't care anymore. I guess maybe if you like a slasher horror, maybe this would be your thing. Overall, I think the humor didn't work for me. Like, the dark humor, there were a few lines that made me laugh, like maybe 3 lines or something. The one about the French Revolution at the very end. Like, it was so silly. But it does not redeem the book for me. I don't think this is satire, it's just camp. It's camp. I don't know what to tell you. And listen, I feel like I can enjoy campy horror. I feel like Grady Hendrix writes some campy horror. What was the book that I liked? I don't remember, it will be on the screen, but this was quite campy and I really enjoyed it. I think maybe it was the historical setting paired with the campiness that didn't work for me. I don't know, I think there is an audience for this book and I'm just not that audience. And that's okay. Honestly, if I didn't know who wrote this book, I would never be able to guess that Virginia Fato, I think it's Fato, it's not Fito, Virginia Fato wrote this book. Like, this and Mrs. March feel so different. I'm not crossing off Virginia Fato because I did really like Mrs. March, and she just wanted to write something different, and that's okay. It wasn't for me, but that's fine. Also, there were like quite a few feminist takes here and there, and like the writing style would mix like Victorian prose with a bit more of a modern language, and it just felt wrong, especially the feminist takes. Like, they were so heavy-handed, I couldn't take them seriously. So yes, now I'm gonna go to a coffee shop. Yesterday I didn't go because the weather was dreadful. Today it's colder, but it's nicer, there's sun outside. And I'm gonna take the mustache with me. The font is really big, so I think I can get through it rather quickly. Oh no, that's longer than I anticipated. Okay, like almost 200 pages. That's fine. Okay, I'm running out of space. Goodbye. So I'm back from the coffee shop. I also visited my family's home because I had a few things to pick up, and I saw the kitties, and I stayed a bit longer than I anticipated. So we're a little bit behind the schedule. It is like 3:30, yeah. So let me catch you up to speed what I've read so far. First of all, there was a little change in plans while I was on the tram to the coffee shop. The journey to my favorite coffee shop in Warsaw takes like 35 minutes from my house. And I didn't feel like reading physically, so I ended up listening to a short story called Bartleby, the Scrivener. This was a mouthful. It is written by Henry? Who? Herman. Am I okay? Okay, so the short story is called Bartleby the Scrivener, and it's by Herman Melville. It was published in the 1850s, I believe, and it's about this lawyer who has 3 employees who help him out in his firm, but he also needs to hire another person who would like copy documents. So he hires Bartleby. I don't know, the name is a mouthful to me. And at first things are fine, he's copying the documents correctly, but he does refuse to do any additional tasks that his employers wants to give him. And anytime that our narrator asks him to do anything other than copy documents, he answers with the most famous line from the short story, which is, "I would prefer not to." And to me, as a little cog in the corporate machine, I get him. But as the story progresses, things get more severe and Bartleby slowly refuses to do any work. And we go from there. At first I found the story to be quite humorous. I really liked the writing style. I really need to look into other books by Herman Melville. So yes, it was. I really liked the narration style. It also made me realize I really need to get back into reading Victorian novels or like novels from the 19th century, because I think Herman Melville is an American author. Yes, the story is set in New York. Was the train of thought here? I don't know. Yes, it was humorous at first, then it took kind of a darker turn. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. It doesn't offer many answers, which I feel like maybe I would have liked if I were to give it a higher rating, but it's just open to interpretation, I guess. Whether this is a story about mental health, whether this is a story about the consequences of capitalism. You know, it depends how you interpret the story, but I would recommend it. Really enjoyed it. And then I did start The Mustache by, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Emmanuel Carrère. This is a French modern classic. This was published in 1986, and this is a story of a man who for years had a mustache, and one day he decides to shave it off and thinks like, oh, I'm not gonna tell my, I don't know if it's his wife or girlfriend, and I'm gonna surprise her, like pull a little prank. But to his surprise, no one really notices the change, or more like people around him claim that he actually never had a mustache. And so far I'm like 60 pages into it. It has a very unsettling atmosphere, because like it's weird, because on the one hand you might be thinking, oh, he's losing his mind, because it's not just his girlfriend, there are other people who are claiming that he has never had a mustache. Like, what is he talking about? So like maybe the main character, our narrator, is going crazy, but like he like searches for like photos of him from like trips and stuff like that, and he like looks at the photos and like he has a mustache there. And also he finds in the trash pieces of his mustache that he has shaved off, but everyone claims that the reality that he perceives is not real. So we'll see where it goes. So far I am intrigued. Anyway, I'm going to change into more comfortable clothes. It is 3:30. I'm going to finish this, then probably read the second volume of the manga that I read yesterday. So that would make it, this would be the 23rd book, the manga would be 24th book, and then I will have to read one more thing. Maybe the play. If I have enough time, I'm going to also read A Streetcar Named Desire as well, and then that will be it. I would have read 8 books in a weekend, but we'll see if it happens. I'll keep you posted. Okay, I just finished the mustache. It is a bit after 8 p.m. I've decided to film myself reading the last few pages because everyone in the reviews always said the last few pages were crazy. And I have to agree. What did I just read? I unfortunately need to think on what I've read and what my final rating will be. So I can't quite give you the review right now, but technically the reading vlog should end now because it's 8 p.m. and I started on Friday and at 8 p.m. and I was supposed to end on Sunday at 8 p.m. But I have not reached my goal yet. I was supposed to read 8 books and I've read 6. So I refuse to give up. And there's still like 4 hours left of the weekend, so I'm gonna read the second volume of the manga that I read yesterday, and hopefully I will have enough brain cells after I finish reading the manga to read the play. Unless I decide on reading something else, I don't know. But yeah, I guess I'll give you the final review and the rating of this at the very end. But that was fucked up. Jesus. Okay, it is 11:30 and I finished the last book thing that I wanted to read in this vlog, and so now I have read 8 books things in one weekend. That's crazy. So I feel like I have a lot of footage for this vlog, so let's wrap this up quickly. First of all, when it comes to the mustache, I enjoyed it, but I did like the first half more than the second half. The second half felt much more like a fever dream. The ending was crazy, but I enjoyed the first half that felt a little bit more grounded in reality, which is kind of a crazy thing to say because it is a story about a man who kind of spirals into madness, question mark. But yes, 3.5 stars. Interesting. Then I read the second volume of The Guy She Was Interested In Wasn't a Guy at all. And I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it. I will definitely continue and read the third volume too. The reason why I gave it 4 stars is just that I was expecting by volume 2 we would get the characters to confront their feelings for each other, and we didn't really get that. We were mostly talking about like future career paths, which is important too, but I was hoping the romantic plot would move along a bit further by this point, but it's fine. I will read the next volume for sure. And the third thing I read was a Lillian Hellman's play called Watch on the Rhine. Yes, I did change my mind. I didn't read A Streetcar Named Desire because I felt like my brain wouldn't be able to fully comprehend that, unfortunately. So I ended up reading one of the plays in this collection, and it was actually a good choice. I ended up really enjoying it. I think I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. It was a play about this woman and her husband and their 3 children who are coming back to America after living in Germany for many years, and they go back to their family, to the wife's family house in the countryside, I believe. And this was written in 1941, I think. It's set in the year 1940, so, you know, Second World War just started. And it talks about anti-fascism. The end made me tear up a bit, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think it would, but the speech about the children, there was this speech about children and like fighting for the children's future, and it just, like, at first I felt like this is a very timely play, but now I feel like it's quite timeless, actually. Oh, I guess I didn't tell you about the conflict in this book. Basically, in this family house, there's a guest who is Romanian, but I think he's kind of like in favor of Hitler, like he's a fascist. So, as you can tell, things might not end up that well. So, a quick ranking of what I've read in this vlog. I guess it would be this way, yes. So, Victorian Psycho with a 1 star. Then we have quite a big jump with The Mustache with a 3.5 star. Then I would say the Safekeep, I ended up also giving it 3.5 stars. Instead of 4 star, I feel like the feeling of disappointment still lingered, you know, a day or two after I finished it. A day or two? When did I finish it? A day after I finished it. And then we have the 4 stars. We have The Invention of Morale. A really interesting book. I really liked the direction that this went in, kind of the opposite of the like kind of fever dream. A bit more, I don't want to say it. Does it, like, I kind of want to say the genre, but I feel like the title gives it away. Like, The Invention of Morale. It's like it goes into this like almost like a science fiction twist. What else did I read? Oh, the Battleby the Scrivener, I gave it 4 stars. Then the second volume of the manga. Then the play, Watch on the Rhine. And then the first volume of the guy she was interested in wasn't a guy at all. That's all. Hope you enjoyed the vlog, and I do hope I will see you soon and not disappear for another few months. So yeah, bye!